The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to another episode of the Icons of Real Estate podcast, where we highlight top professionals who are making waves in the industry. I'm your host, Karen Roberts, and today we're excited to feature Courtney. She's from EXP, a realtor since 2011. She combines expertise in real estate, marketing, and strategic negotiation. She's known as the phone queen, and she's backed by experience in the finance and automotive industries across Canada and the US. So her team is in the top group in Canada, right outside of work. Courtney is a wife, mother, figure skater, fitness competitor, and an animal lover. So welcome to the show, Courtney.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
So would you like to share with the listeners a little bit about what inspired you to transition from marketing and public relations in the finance and automotive industries into a career in real estate?
Oh yeah, I mean it was a while ago. I think probably like so many people, if we're being honest, I bought a condo in Toronto and then thought I could do better. We all did it. I think anyone who tells you they got into real estate for any other reason because they love helping people, they're not being honest. They saw it. They saw how it went down. They thought they could do better. The money looks great. And so that's how I got into it.
And no looking back, and it wasn't a mistake, right?
No looking back at all. It's been like every year just gets better and more fun challenges. But yeah, no looking back. I have switched my role within the real estate industry, and that was about 8 years ago, where I decided the money was great. And also, I didn't actually really want to go out and show houses or work with people. So I switched entirely to inside sales. It started by thinking I could just call around, just listed and just sold. I had done a few deals with Jennifer Jones as real estate agents on either side of the transaction. And so went to her. She was amazing and said, what if I just call and book you appointments and you pay me a referral? If it doesn't work, I don't get anything. And if it does, then pay me commissions. And so since then, we've grown out an entire inside sales department. We've gone to adding in online leads, and we've done about $450 million of transactions from just me making phone calls.
I mean, that is phenomenal because most realtors know that they need to do some cold calling. Yeah. A lot of realtors do not want to get on the phone. So what do you think is holding people back? What's made you really dive deep into that? And why do you think so many people are avoiding doing that simple thing of picking up the phone?
Yeah, I think it's scary. It seems scary. It's obviously not a real fear. However, I had it too when I first got started. I remember if people would answer, I would hang up because I would just be so afraid. If the conversation was going well, that was worse. So it took me a while to get into the rhythm and, lots of months of defeat. And I think if I wasn't so, I don't want to say determined as much as spiteful, because determined sounds like a positive thing. I just love proving people wrong. And so if I hadn't had that little chip on my shoulder, I wouldn't have kept going. Once it did, though, and then I did the math on it, it's like you can't make the kind of money we make as a successful inside sales at any other job. Like, you know, it's
Mm.
hundreds and hundreds of dollars an hour where I'm sitting in, I mean, track pants and, you know, a messy bun. And so it works out. And I don't have to go doing those, you know, those last minute showings where someone wants to go see the property and you have kids and they've got hockey practice and you're doing all of that dynamic and drama is removed for me. So I do feel like I'm winning. And so anyways, it's taken a while and I just think agents are afraid of it. It's not a real fear. We don't usually die, you know, making phone calls, regardless how, you know, which way they go. But that fear gets in the way. And if we talked about it more like rationally and from a numbers aspect, it just makes sense and everyone should do it, I think.
So, well, there you go. You're working on your strengths, and it's quite clearly working. $450 million. Wow, that's incredible. Um, Now, with the background that you brought into the business, though, as well, how has that shaped your approach to maybe helping clients buy, sell, and maybe even invest in real estate?
Sure, yeah. I think like when I originally got started, I had a lot of experience with marketing and public relations. So, you know, a lot of those skills get added into it. On a personal side, we just finished building our second house. So, a lot of experience with investing into real estate and understanding, you know, what are good properties and what not, holding your value and things like that. So, those sort of experiences has helped me as a real estate agent. Again, I don't do a lot of that front side with the real estate agent. As a real estate agent, a lot though is done with building rapport with clients until they're ready to go out. And those marketing and public relations skills definitely come in handy. And then just a general knowledge of like real estate and investing, that it's all applicable for my conversations that I'm having like hundreds of conversations about real estate and things like that. So
Perfect. And look, you've got so many achievements and awards under your belt. So, what is it that motivates you to continue pushing boundaries in the industry?
sure. Oh, thanks. I think you guys do a great job making me sound
Yeah.
better than I
Yeah.
am. I'll roll with it. I mean, yeah, there's, you know, those selfless and selfish goals that we all have, shiny things, financial freedom, wanting my kids to have great lives. It's numbers though. Like it's just so broken down for me. I made 50,000 phone calls last year. I know, yeah. No, in the year
Wow.
before, I think I was like around 35,000 the year before. Like it's just I'll make $5 if I every phone call that I make. And so in all agent, and that's just like my fraction, right? So a solo agent would make 4 times that. Anyway, so once you figure out those numbers, I always think I don't need motivation. It's just facts. So if I decided to not make 200 phone calls today, if I allowed, you know, all these things to get in the way, well, then I just wouldn't make money, right? So
Yeah.
I think if you break it down, and so many agents don't, but if you look in that big picture and you break it down into numbers, it's like it would be strange for me to allow, you know, feeling tired or a bad day to get in my way of what I really want, which is all the money at the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
Again, like I would love to sit here and tell you that there's all these other warm and fuzzies, and it's not that I don't want success for everyone and I don't want people to find good homes, but like as far as motivation, it's like if I get off this podcast and I make 200 phone calls, even though it's like a Friday afternoon, it will show up as $1,000 of commission or $100,000 of sales for my team. So I know I want that, and I know I want the agents. So I don't know. It's just strategic. And then you start
Right.
thinking about, while I'm rambling, you just start thinking about everything like that. So I did this like little post one time, and it's instead of looking at how much things cost in dollars, I think of how much it costs in dials. So, you know, you want
Ah.
that new shiny Yukon Denali. It's like, all right, well, you're going to have to make 22,000 phone calls to pay for this. Or,
Wow.
want to go on a Hawaiian vacation. Okay, well, that's going to be 8,000 phone calls. So are you willing to do 8,000 phone calls of work in order to get exactly what you're looking for? Then my kids will throw funny ones. They'll be like, can I get a Starbucks? It's like, no, you're 10. They're like, well, you just have to make a few phone calls, which is
Wow.
super
But
annoying,
that
but we'll do it. We'll literally pull over in a Starbucks parking lot and I'll say, all right, let's load up 10 phone calls and we'll sit here and maybe 10 people won't answer, or maybe I'll have 3 conversations or get yelled at, but we'll sit there and actually do it when we want something above and beyond. Just, because it makes sense. All right, now I can pay for it because I wasn't going to make these 10 phone calls. Now we've made these 10 phone calls. We'll go get some bougie drink for my
that's
11-year-old.
that's a brilliant mindset.
Yeah,
That's a brilliant way of looking at it. Very analytical, takes all the emotion out of
there's
everything
nothing
and
emotional.
looking at the big picture, breaking it down, and it's just as simple as do the work. Just
Yes.
do the work, and through your experience and the results that you've achieved, you can guarantee that that's what you're going to pretty much make.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I haven't heard anybody break it down like that.
I don't understand why people need to be motivated when they got
Mm.
into real estate. Like it's, that time of the year. We've made this really cool calculator. It's like gcicalculator.com, where it'll break down your activity that you need to do. So we have it for our team. Um, and then it's like people still don't do it. Like you have to have 5 open houses and that's a deal. Well, for most agents, that's like $20,000. Why aren't you doing 5 open houses every weekend? Like if you know what if you do these things, it makes you money. Why are you not doing it? And if you're not doing it, like get out of the business. Like go get a job that you just have to go to. And like the whole point of this should be that you do this stuff and then that it transacts, but then everyone needs to get motivated and listen to pump up songs in the morning or meditate or something. Like, what are you doing? Just pick up the
Just do the
phone.
work.
Just
Do
do
the
it.
work.
Like
Well, you
literally just do it. Like I wish Nike's tagline didn't exist so I could have it, because like you just need to do it and then it turns out to be it turns into money. Like it's every time. Like it just works out. So
brilliant. Too much emotion, I think,
oh,
involved
we're soft. Everybody's
with
soft.
some of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You're
To
all
have
soft.
that analytical approach and just simply do the work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're balancing quite a dynamic career and a vibrant personal life. There, figure skater, fitness competitor. So, what advice do you have for others who are striving to achieve success in both areas?
Sure. Oh gosh. I mean, I always say no one has asked me to write a parenting book or participate in a parenting podcast. So I don't know if I'm nailing it. I am pretty like two-dimensional. I don't need that big social exciting lives that people have. So I am very much just work and then home, like family with my kids. It would be that time blocking. I wake up super early to do an hour of work before it was 5:28. So I get an hour of work done and then get a workout in and then wake up my kids. And then it's like, work is completely non-existent for that hour in the morning before they get off to work or to school. Oh, work one day. And then once they're off, I walk the dog. I multitask a whole lot while I'm doing my dials. And not for all my dials, but about 70% of my dialing time is hunting, which is finding leads who I've never talked with. So those people are, I'm going to say the same thing. I don't need to look at any notes. The less I know about them, the better my questions are going to be. So I would prefer not to be sitting on my computer. Plus, I'm a busybody. So I'll throw in my dial and, take my dog for a big walk. Or, I'm folding my laundry and like getting my house. I shouldn't say getting
Right.
my house organized because my house will never Never be organized. But,
Well,
you
it
know,
sounds like you're doing an amazing, it
doing
sounds like
those
you're doing an
basics.
amazing
Yeah.
job.
But so doing a lot of the prospecting things instead of, and I always say it for agents, like instead of trying to, cross out 2 hours of your time where you sit at a desk and it's boring, do that. Like fold your, like, because all this has to happen. Your laundry gets folded, my dinners get prepped, I'm walking the dog a bunch. All of that's going to happen while I'm doing a lot of those dials. And then I'll sit down and do my follow-up. So just really time blocking and mixing where you can do things. Um, and then again, like kids come home and it's undivided attention for an hour. I'm also a realist. They don't want to hang out with me all night. They're 11 and 8 years old. They need an hour of my attention for homework and snacks. And then I get to go sit back down and do like another hour of work and, just going back and forth, but doing a lot of the admin stuff and email responses, marketing, searches, updates, all that stuff happens at nighttime before bed and first thing in the morning, and nothing interrupts my dial time. So I'm
Right.
from 8 till 4 when they're at school is just prospecting. I'm finding deals and then I'm dealing with all the admin stuff outside those hours.
Brilliant. Well,
Mhm.
excuse the pun, but it sounds like you're pretty dialed in.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's so
You've
good.
got this dialed in and
Yes.
it's working. You said $450 million. So what is
So that's
next for
in
Courtney?
total. So we're
That's in
about
total. Yeah, sure.
50 to 60 million a year of transactions,
That's
is what we're
phenomenal.
doing. Yeah.
That's phenomenal. But what you're saying is that because of your focus on dialing overall gross that
Yeah.
has brought in
Yeah.
for $450 million
Yeah.
worth of business. Who
And I've
doesn't want
never
a
showed a
commission
house.
part of that? And you've never showed a house.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. And that just shows listeners, guys, if you're just do the work, if you're not picking up the phone, pick up the phone. So
Oh,
what's next for Courtney? What are your goals for this year?
oh, like just world domination. That's once I've done that, it's nothing. Yeah. Yeah, I have a bunch of fun trips, so that's exciting. So, working a lot that. We've partnered up with like realestateappointments.com and training VA ISAs is the goal for this year. Expanding it. We've hired and trained a lot of really great ISAs since I've started 8 years ago. Everyone loves to go and get their real estate license afterwards, which is totally fine because it's way more glamorous. You get to brunch and go out on show-ins in your fancy cars and nice clothes. So I totally get it. That's what happens. And so anyways, my goal for 2025 is to duplicate me at a mass scale for everyone else to benefit.
Wonderful. I'm sure a lot of the listeners out there, they're realtors. They're like, we want Courtney. We want Courtney. Or yes, we want a Courtney clone on
That's
the
I
team.
should call it that. Yeah, maybe we
Yes.
will. We're going to be dialed in and have Courtney clones.
There you go. Love it. Well,
Yeah.
my last question to you is going to be because here at Icons of Real Estate, we're not just a podcast. We are the #1 real estate podcast network globally. And we are passionate about making podcasting accessible to anybody involved in the business of real estate. So, I mean, we've got a few ideas floating around there for things, but if you had your own podcast, what would you call it?
Oh gosh, I've already let it slide. I think we were just saying like a real talk. I would like to bring a very dry, factual, yet humorous approach to real estate. I love facts, just saying it how it is. Okay.
Awesome. Love that. Love that. Thank you so much for your time. So for the listeners, if they want to reach out to you, I'm sure they're going to be very interested in this. How can they reach you? How do they get hold of you?
I still think the best way is on Instagram, and I don't know how do I say it, at ISA underscore today underscore. So just
Okay.
ISA today. That's always just been my handle.
Okay. Also, well, and all her details will be in the show notes. So come back to them. Yes, I can see you here at ISA underscore today underscore. That's where I found you. So Courtney, thank you so much for your time today. This has been a very different conversation. A lot of people are avoiding doing
Yes,
cold calling, but that is
do
just
it.
validation that this stuff works. So thank you for your time. And to the rest of you, I'll be back next time with the Icons of Real Estate podcast. Bye for now.